Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to the Richmond Raceway here in Richmond, Virginia, as we are ready to begin the 5th race of the season in the 2022 Haas IndyCar Series. This is the Virginia 100K, 83 laps of action around this 3/4 of a mile speedway. And we should be in store for an excellent race here today. The longest race we've ever done here at Richmond in the Haas IndyCar Series, but don't let that lap count fool you. It'll be a quick race here today, especially if this race stays green. The lap time's averaging well under 18 seconds. We almost got under 17 seconds in qualifying yesterday. I don't think they're going to be going quite that fast here today. Well, we should definitely be in store for a fast race here. The 5th race of the season in the Haas IndyCar Series. Of course, with this being an oval, these guys probably going to have a bit easier time making passes on the racetrack. And even though you got Chris Reynolds, Landon Smith Jr. starting in the front row, we're going to probably see a lot of passes for the race lead in this race, especially as it stays green. Of course, once we get to that cycle of pit stops, about a 60-lap fuel run here today, then we might see someone pull out and possibly gift this race victory. But it's going to be interesting to see how it all goes down here today for 83 laps. A lot of unknowns coming into this race, but it's the 3rd oval of the season, but the shortest racetrack on the circuit at that. In the point standings, the driver who has won the 2 oval races we have already had this season at California and Texas is the points leader. That's Zachary Fitzwater, 149 total points towards the championship. Trey Smith won at Riverside. He's 28 points behind. And our last winner, Nathan Faden, who won at Circuit of the Americas, is 30 points behind. Then you got Thomas Troxell, Brandon Nelson, and Landon Smith Jr., 40, 45, and 49 points behind, respectively, all with a mathematical shot at taking the points lead at the end of the day. Everyone else is out of contention to do so in this race. If you saw qualifying yesterday, you saw that Chris Reynolds won the pole position. That's a bonus point towards the championship for him, and a very well-earned and a very much needed bonus point for Chris Reynolds. He comes into this race 24th in points. But we are still early on in the season. We're only going to be a quarter of the way through the season once we are complete with the race here today at the Richmond Raceway. So definitely going to be interesting to see how the points look after the first quarter of the season. And then once we get to the end of the next quarter, it's the Indianapolis 250. That's just around the corner here in less than 2 months. We're looking forward to that one. Starting on the pole position, like I mentioned, it's Chris Reynolds in the number 50 alongside him, Landon Smith Jr. in the number 34. You got Logan Williams there. He's had a pretty solid season so far, only 55 points behind. He starts 3rd alongside Elijah Gordon, who has not had a solid season this year. He's last in points, only 16 total points on the season for him so far this season, averaging only 4 points a race. He could well more than double that. He could quadruple that here today with a race victory. You got Zach Winkle and Nicholas Samadillo there in row number 3. Richard Kingart to the inside of Scott Upton in row number 4. Then Reggie Fogelman to the inside of Brandon Nelson in row number 5. Behind those guys, it's Ethan Lewis and Cole Raymond. Zachary Fitzwater, a points leader, starting on the inside lane, midway through the field alongside Brian Rodriguez. Nathan Faden to the inside of Angel Olvera, Caleb Rose and Thomas Troxell, Jesse Turner and Brock Nelson, Noah Clifton, Trey Smith, Justin Zaidel, Ace Garcia, Eric Monaco, and Jay Knapp for the 2nd straight weekend, starting in last place. Bright sunny day here at Richmond. We should have a fun one here for 83 laps around the shortest track on the circuit. We've been coming here in the Haas IndyCar Series for many times before, and we've had a multitude of great races in this series, and I think we're going to be in store for another great run here today. Pace car is down the pit lane, and off at turn number 4, we are green flag racing in the Haas IndyCar Series at Richmond Raceway. And the jump at the start's going to go to Chris Reynolds in the number 50 machine. He leads lap number 1 and gets another bonus point for leading that lap. Logan Williams there in 2nd place, trying to close back in. You got Zach Winkle. That inside lane's where you want to be here, Richmond. But you did see Reynolds work that outside lane fairly well to his advantage there at the start of the event. Here comes Kingart looking to the inside of Zach Winkle for the 3rd position. Already on the 3rd lap of the race, and we had the Wawa Pro Series come here about a couple months ago, and can obviously tell, if you remember that race, these guys are going much faster than those stock cars do, and they're averaging at the top speed 160 heading into the corner here at Richmond, and they're going to be doing that all the day long. So even though it's an 83-lap race, these guys are going to be going through it very quickly here today, especially if this race stays green. Reggie Fogelman up to third. Here comes Ethan Lewis in the number 11 machine. And how about Zachary Fitzwater already looking inside the top 5? He's got a nose to the inside of Richard Kingart there for the 5th position. And Kingart looking to sweep all 3 ovals so far this season. That might be a good omen for the Indy250 later on at the end of May. And that's the race everyone wants to win. You get remembered more for winning the Indy250 than you do winning the championship. And I think a lot of these guys have that in the back of their mind. Now, this is a completely different racetrack than what we're going to be going to at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We run the road course configuration on the cars here at Richmond because it's such a short track. But that oval mentality still comes into play here, as it will at Indianapolis in less than 2 months. Logan Williams trying to move his way to the inside. How about Perez Racing right here? Both of their cars inside the top 5, second and third, and going for the race lead. Logan Williams there to the inside, and he will dethrone, or at least attempt to dethrone, Chris Reynolds from that top position. You got Ethan Lewis right here, last year's Indy 250 winner. He's going to take advantage of his teammate opening the hole there and go to the inside of Chris Reynolds for second. Got Jesse Turner moving his way, and how about Zidell? Started deep in the field for this one. There's Jay Knapp as well. These are guys who started deep in the field, and like I said, we're going to see a lot more passing in this race than we do on the road courses. These guys are going to be shuffling the entire race. And we're going to see some more shuffling up front as Ethan Lewis moves to the inside of Logan Williams on lap number 10. And now that's going to open the door for Reynolds to get back around Williams. And now you got Fogelman and Caleb Rose up here as well in the 55 machine. Kingart is up here. Turner's up here. About Justin Zidell in the number 5. And then right behind him, Eric Monaco. Neither of these guys have won in this series since 2018. For Monaco's case, he hasn't won at all in this series, but he almost won that same race as Zidell won. Williams continuing to fall back on that outside lane. Reggie Fogelman going to take third away, and now Caleb Rose is going to take a position away from the 18 machine. They're kind of stringing out just a little bit throughout the field right now, and because of that, he gets stuck in that outside lane. Not as much grip up there, and those guys tend to lose their positions. Here comes Zidell. He's going to make a move on Jesse Turner. Of course, Jesse Turner had a monumental victory yesterday in the Wawa Pro Series. His 24th career win on the channel on the 7-year anniversary of the first ever race on the channel, which he won. So definitely a huge weekend for him there in the number 38. Here comes Reggie Fogelman to the inside for the race lead. We've not seen much of Fogelman this season. Of all the true rookies this season, he is deepest in the points. However, he is still 18th in the points, only 100 behind, and the race victory would definitely help him out, but he's only going to lead that one lap as Caleb Rose now moves to the inside for the race lead. I think we're going to see more passing for the race lead here than we are in Indianapolis. I know that's a bit of a stretch to say that. We do tend to get a lot of passes at Indianapolis, but even when we go to Indianapolis, those guys tend to get a bit far out ahead, and they tend to stay out front for a few laps. Here, it doesn't seem to be too easy to pull out in front here at the Richmond Raceway. Caleb Rose there in the number 55 holding on to the race lead. Reynolds is still up here. That is the Dracoan Racing teammate to Caleb Rose right there. So Owen Miles' team doing a great job with both Caleb Rose and Chris Reynolds here. Got Ethan Lewis and Richard Kingart there. How about Eric Monaco up to 6th, Ace Garcia up to 7th, and now you got Nathan Faden looking to go 2 in a row. Got that race victory at Circuit of the Americas last week. This is a completely different racetrack than what we saw at Circuit of the Americas, as we may see some 3 wide here. That's Fitzwater on the outside of Trey Smith and Elijah Gordon. Haven't really seen too much 3 wide. I don't know how well that is going to play out here, but in testing, we didn't see too many wrecks. This could very well be a very clean and fast green flag race all the way through. Chris Reynolds has fallen off. Monaco going to move back to the inside. That is for the 5th position. So Eric Monaco started 25th for this race, and now already up to the 5th position on lap 19. Fogelman back to the inside of Caleb Rose for the lead. Now you got Kingart also to the inside of Ethan Lewis there for the 3rd position. And don't count out Nathan Faden. I think Faden's going to be a strong threat to win this championship if this keeps up. Of course, Fitzwater's been very strong. And Trey Smith is up here as well, murking that inside lane. So we'll have to see what Trey Smith can do here today. He's currently 12th right now. So that's in the first half of the field right there for the number 41. How about Jay Napier? Started last for this race. He's now going to move himself into the top half of the field in 13th. Kinghart up to second. Ethan Lewis going to take third away from Caleb Rose. And now Ace Garcia, who had a run-in at the end of that race at Circuit of the Americas with Elijah Gordon. And lost a good run that he had. Definitely not too happy about what happened there at Circuit of the Americas, but he's looking to rebound right here as he is currently in the 4th position. Chris Reynolds going to go back to 5th. And Nathan Faden moving up through the field. Nicholas Amadio's back up here as well. You got Jesse Turner also inside the top 10. A couple of dark horse picks for this one, the way this race is going. Ethan Lewis going to move back to the inside. Lewis has been very strong. Fogelman has been very strong. Both of these guys have been inside the top 5 nearly this entire race. So they're both going to have a good shot at getting this race victory. How about Ace Garcia, though, all the way up to 3rd. That 32 is very fast right now. And Ethan Lewis is going to have a shot to the inside of Fogelman. It's been a while since we've seen a race on the channel with this much passing, but it's not every day you see it on a short track like this one. Lots of times the short track races, especially when we have the stock cars here, we don't get as much passing as we do on the higher speed ovals. But here today in these Indy cars, they're having a hard time holding that inside lane. It's difficult to do so, but when you can do it, you get the run. Obviously, these guys taking advantage of that fairly well. Ethan Lewis out front in the 11. Ace Garcia, Kinghart there. And how about Nathan Faden continuing to methodically work his way through this field? Got to give props to Chris Reynolds, who started on the pole for this race. He hasn't fallen off too poorly at all. He's still in the battle right there for the 5th position. Now Ace Garcia moving to the inside for the race lead on Ethan Lewis. Kinghart's going to follow suit. Kinghart's another guy who has been upside in this top 5 pretty much this entire race. He's going to move to the inside there for the 2nd position as Faden's going to take advantage. So will Chris Reynolds. Here's Nicholas Amadio in the 31. Up to the 6th position. That is exactly where he started in this race. And Trey Smith inside the top 10 as well. As Fogelman continues to fall back in the 24. Got stuck in that outside lane. And he has been unable to find his way back on that inside. Elijah Gordon there in the 42 machine. His teammate has been doing an excellent job. Gordon started inside the top 5 for this race, but fell back pretty much right at the top of the show. But he is there in the 8th position right now. Then you got the 38 machine of Jesse Turner right behind him there in 9th. And then Turner's teammate Landon Smith Jr. started on the outside pole, is back inside the top 10. Caleb Rose Fogelman fell all the way back to 12th. Not a good run there for Reggie Fogelman as he got stuck in that outside lane. Zachary Fitzwater was at the highest, 5th at one point in this race, now down to 17th. Not exactly what Fitzwater wants. He's been top 10 in every race so far this season. In the back of the field, you got the 13 of Brian Rodriguez and Cole Raymond, but everyone's still in this race. And now you might be starting to see the tire wear kick in here as Ace Garcia is pulled away from the field. That is the largest lead we have seen all race long here in this Virginia 100K. Nathan Faden there in 2nd, Nicholas Amadio. Christopher Alphabee's team now has 2 drivers inside the top 3 with Ace Garcia and Nicholas Amadio. And then you got Ethan Lewis there in 4th. Elijah Gordon to the inside of his teammate, his NS Racing teammate there of Richard Kinghart for the 5th position. And Turner is here in the 38 moving on the inside. A lot of long-time veterans running up front. Ace Garcia, Faden's been around a long time. Sam Adio, of course, 2-time Indy 250 champion. Ethan Lewis won the Indy 250 last year. Elijah Gordon's a 2-time Cup champion. Jesse Turner. Need I say more with Turner? Landon Smith Jr. is even pretty much a veteran at this point with Kinghart and Trey Smith. Chris Reynolds and Caleb Rose are the 2 newest guys once you get that far back in the field. And even they have both made considerable amounts of starts at this point. So, a lot of experience up front here at Richmond right now. Of course, this is one of those staple races to the Haas IndyCar series. They've been coming here since 2016. So these guys, some of these guys have been here many times before in IndyCar, like Sam Adio. So we're going to have to see, and even Ace Garcia as well, and Nathan Faden. All 3 of these guys have raced here before in an IndyCar, so they're definitely going to be threats to win this one, and so will this double zero, especially this double zero of Nathan Faden. He's looking to the inside, but not able to get the nose to the inside of Garcia right there for the race lead. Elijah Gordon has found a lot of speed late in this session. He's on the gearbox of Ethan Lewis for the 4th position. But now you're starting to see these guys spread out. That tire wear is coming into effect, and these guys may relatively stay in these positions once we get to this cycle of green flag pit stops, assuming this race stays green all the way through. Ace Garcia trying to hold that middle line, keep Nathan Faden behind him as Gordon takes 4th away from Ethan Lewis. And here comes Jesse Turner, the inside of his teammate, for 6th. So you got a couple of Cup champions moving their way through the field here, and you got Nathan Faden moving his way to the top position, looking for 2 wins in a row here in the Haas IndyCar Series. Shane Lake's team been doing pretty solid. They had a couple of good runs with Jay Knapp at the top of the season, and Nathan Faden came in strong at COTA last week. And he's coming in strong right now as we are halfway here in the Virginia 100K. I told you this race was going to go by fast. We used to have it as a 65-kilometer race, and it was only like 54 laps. That would be like 20 minutes if we did that. We needed to make it a little bit longer, considering how fast these guys go. Ace Garcia was pretty quick to get back around the double zero, but Faden might cross back over again. But Garcia looking very strong. Same with Elijah Gordon. Those 2 guys, and you know, it's kind of interesting. We didn't actually notice it when we were recording, but you saw that incident between Ace Garcia and Elijah Gordon at the end of Firestone, Indy, Texas. I'm sure those 2 were not happy with each other after what happened at Circuit of the Americas last week. And they could end up being the 2 guys battling for this race win. Gordon to 3rd. Or at least he's going to try to take 3rd away from Nicholas Samadio. Looks like he's going to get it right here on the 31. Ace Garcia has been out front for a considerable amount of time. I do believe at this point he has led the most laps in this race. Samadio really up the racetrack there. They may allow Ethan Lewis to take 4th away from him. Turner got passed there by Trey Smith and Landon Smith Jr., so the Smith brothers right there to the inside. And now you got Caleb Rose here in the 55 machine, also looking to the inside of Jesse Turner. Closing in on the cycle of pit stops here in the Virginia 100K. We are past halfway, so it will be a guaranteed 1-stop race here at Richmond. And you generally want to be one of the guys up front when the cycle begins, because then it really spreads out, especially if the race stays green. Now, if Ace Garcia, Nathan Faden, Elijah Gordon, Sam Adio, they can all stay in this top 4. They're all going to have a very good shot at winning the race if they come down the pit lane in the top 4. Trey Smith, he's continuing to move his way through the field here. He's going for his 2nd win of the season. One at Riverside. His brother's going to move to the inside of him. Landon Smith Jr. going to take it away right there in the 34, and Smith Jr. is going to go to the 5th position. Caleb Rose back, moving up through the field as Turner fell back to the 9th, and our pole sitter Chris Reynolds is now in the 10th position. Clifton there in 12th, and you got Brock Nelson, Scott Upton, Justin Seidel, Fitzwater, Angel Olvera. Kingart fell way back in the 97. So did Logan Williams. Those were a couple of guys who were up front earlier on in this race. Zach Winkle, Cole Raymond, Brian Rodriguez, Reggie Fogelman led a few laps, and he fell way back. Jay Knapp, Thomas Troxel, Brandon Nelson, and Eric Monaco now in the last position. But everyone is kind of settled into their respective positions at this point. Only double wide battle between Logan Williams and Zachary Fitzwater. But Ace Garcia has been doing an excellent job keeping this double zero behind him here, and that might very well come in handy for when we get to the finish of this race. Now, the only downside of when we get to the finish of the race, the tires are going to be way fresher than they are now, so it's going to be a little bit easier to make moves once we get to that point of the event. Faden is going to make a move regardless as he goes to the inside and takes the lead back away from Ace Garcia. Elijah Gordon here in the number 42 machine. He's going to have a nose as well for second. And that 42 machine is really fast. Of course, these two guys had a run in that Circuit of the Americas last week, so watch out for them. Gordon's going to take it away. Last in points with only 16 total points on the season right now. He go to 56 total points. the way he's currently running. He gained 40 points with that second place run. But if he gets the win, that's 50 points, 51 points as a matter of fact, because he lead a lap. And that would really benefit Elijah Gordon in this championship. And he's going to go to the inside of Faden for the race lead. Elijah Gordon does seem to have one of the fastest cars out here right now. He's been working his way through the field very well. That's going to open the door for Ace Garcia to move back to the inside of Faden. That is for second. As you got Sam Medeo here. Under fire from Trey Smith. Trey Smith is also very fast. So is Caleb Rose. Turner's fallen off quite a bit there as Scott Upton moves to the inside and Noah Clifton as they both got around the 38 machine. So Elijah Gordon and Ace Garcia. As the cycle begins, Garcia comes down. His teammate Nicholas Samedeo going to play the same strategy. And I think that's Jesse Turner as well coming down. And then Brandon Nelson and Reggie Fogelman in the back of the field. The big question is, do you want to be one of the first guys coming down the pit lane? Or do you want to be one of the last guys coming down? I don't think anyone quite knows what that strategy play is going to be like. But we'll have to see where Garcia, Samedeo, and Turner come out. They were all inside or close to the top 10. There's not everyone coming down this time. Trey Smith going to stay out and lead a lap as Nathan Faden had to stop there as they were coming down. Got held up there just a little bit. Elijah Gordon here in the 42 machine. The match is going to be 4 tires for all these guys as Nicholas Samedeo is going to come out ahead of Jesse Turner, but Ace Garcia was the first guy out there in the number 32 machine. Still have a few guys who've yet to come down, including Zidell, Fitzwater, Rodriguez, and I think now you got the 97 of Kingart, who is still yet to make his stop. And Kingart's actually going to lead a lap right there. Here comes Elijah Gordon coming off the pit lane, and Ace Garcia right there in the 32. This will presumably be for the race lead once this all cycles through. And Garcia's going to take it right away from Elijah Gordon, but they're going to be side by side down the backstretch. Next in line, I do believe, is going to be Ethan Lewis. So it looks like you may have wanted to be one of the last guys coming down the pit lane here. There's Trey Smith in the 41. He's going to pretty much fall back in the position he was in. Kingart is still legally the race leader, while the 32 and the 42 are still legally a lap down. You're going to see these guys come around, and they will eventually catch up to that 97, and I think they actually have gotten around the 97 as Kingart is still on the pit lane. So there you go. Ace Garcia was the first guy down, and he is going to take the race lead, but Elijah Gordon is right there, Trey Smith and Ethan Lewis, and then Nicholas Samedeo, Nathan Faden a little ways behind them. Samedeo and Faden are about 4 seconds off. And then Lewis and Trey Smith are about 2 seconds off. This race might very well be between Ace Garcia and Elijah Gordon. 20 laps to go here in the Virginia 100K. Ace Garcia comes in 16th in points, a total of 57 points on the season for Garcia. He's looking to get 52 here today because he has led the most laps so far. And Elijah Gordon, as we have mentioned multiple times, only 16 total points on the season, 133 behind. Of course, still early on in the season, but the points battle begins at the first race. It's a strict points championship all the way through, and if you don't get the points when you can, you're not going to be in contention once you get to Pocono the end of August for the championship. Trey Smith, Ethan Lewis, they're not closing in, but Sam Medeo is closing in a little bit, but I just don't think these guys are going to have enough time. So it's going to be a great points day for all these guys. That's going to be great for Nathan Faden in terms of the championship. He came in 30 behind Fitzwater, and he's not going to gain all of that in this race, but he's going to gain some of it if they stay in their respective positions. You see Fitzwater there in 13th right now. And Trace, or should I say Nathan Faden, there running in the 6th position. As for the race lead, it happens every time. It happened last week. It happened again today. We missed the battle for the race lead there, and Elijah Gordon is now out front here at Richmond. Assuming I edit it in, you'll see that pass for the lead on the corner of your screen. Elijah Gordon has been very quick all weekend long here at the Richmond Raceway. And I do believe he's going for his 19th career win. and is second in the Haas IndyCar Series. So Gordon with a good opportunity at doing it here today. Ethan Lewis is closing in just a little bit here, and San Medio's chipping away at the race lead, but he's got to get around everyone if he's going to have a shot. It was almost 4 seconds, now it's 3.28. But Ace Garcia's not out of this thing yet either. Now number 32 could have a good shot at getting around this 42 before this race is done. They're about on equal tires. Gordon has slightly fresher tires as he came down a lap later than the 40 or 32 machine. Of course, the two-time Cup Series champion, of course, he did that back-to-back years in Season 6 and Season 7, so it would have been 2017, 2018 when he did that, when we ran the Cup Series. Semi-retired, and then came back full-time here in the IndyCar Series is maybe... I don't think it's his first full-time season in the Haas IndyCar Series, but it's one of his first. Probably only his second. He has definitely found his stride here this weekend. It has not been a good start to the season at all for Elijah Gordon, but this is definitely going to boost his chances of getting a better run. And this is definitely going to boost his confidence heading into the Indy 250 as well. And obviously, like I mentioned, that's the race everyone wants to win. I think you would rather, I don't know, you ask some guys, would you rather win the Indy 250 or the Haas IndyCar Series Championship? Well, Ethan Lewis ran the Indy 250 in a year we didn't have a full season. San Medeo has done both. Luke Rainey has done both before. A lot of guys have done both in the same season because we used to do double points for that race, but not everyone has won both the championship in Haas and the Indy 250. And of course, we'll have 10 more drivers qualifying or attempting to qualify for the Indianapolis 250 once we get to that. And of course, there will be a bump day as well, so no one is guaranteed to race in the race. 33 slots, but 36 entries, so as usual, 3 drivers will fail to qualify, and lots of times those happen to be full-time drivers. And it very well could be the points leader. Zachary Fitzwater's not locked into the Indy 250. No one is. It's the only race on the entire channel where we have DNQs like that, but it's always intense once we get to single car qualifying for the Indianapolis 250. It's going to be an intense finish here if Garcia continues to close in. Next time by, 4 laps to go in the Virginia 100K. Elijah Gordon has done an excellent job in this race. Everyone's kind of settled in their respective positions, but Gordon may just take this one away. Garcia's trying. He lost a little bit of ground that last lap. It takes a couple laps to wind up and get a run on somebody. 3 to go for Elijah Gordon and NS Racing. Nathan Stapleton trying to get this race victory as an owner. Christopher Alfie trying to get a win as an owner as well as down the backstretch. Eric Monaco is off the pace. Of course, we're at the point of no return. If we get a caution, we are not going to get a restart. 2 laps to go. Ace Garcia trying to close in here on the 42. It's going to take a last-ditch effort in order for Garcia to have a shot at this one. I just don't know if he's going to get a white flag for Elijah Gordon here in Richmond. And Garcia lost a lot of time that last lap right there. At this point of the race, it's just too hard to get to him. Elijah Gordon, 19th career win on the channel, and his second in the Haas IndyCar Series. Gordon wins the Virginia 100K. Tough break for Eric Monaco. I believe he's going to finish in the last position here today. But Elijah Gordon gets it done at the Richmond Raceway here in the Virginia 100K. How about that run there for the 19-time winner on the channel. Elijah Gordon wins the Virginia 100K. Ace Garcia there in second. And then Trey Smith with a podium position. That's going to be good for Trey Smith in the championship. I wasn't even thinking about Trey Smith there. How close he is in the championship fight. Ethan Lewis got a 4th place finish. Nicholas San Medeo at top 5. Then Nathan Fabe, Noah Clifton, Justin Zidell, Logan Williams, and Landis Smith Jr. the top 10. Points leader, Zachary Fitzwater finished 15th. That's his worst finish of the season. I don't know. He's not going to lose the points lead, but it's going to be much closer heading into Willow Springs next week. And the only driver who did not finish in the lead lap there, Eric Monaco, had an issue late in the race. But a caution-free race here at Richmond. Nice, clean race, but it was a fun one. And Elijah Gordon gets the race victory here in the Virginia 100K. Like I mentioned, next week at Willow Springs. Should be a fun one there for the Grand Prix of California. I can't remember how long the race is, but we should have an enjoyable event there for our third road course of the season. Then after that, it's Lime Rock Park, Kansas, the Indy Road Course, and then, of course, the world-famous Indianapolis 250. And we're really looking forward to that one. And we got those entries in. We got the 36 entries in. And just got to paint the cars, and then we'll be all good to go for the month of May here in the Haas IndyCar Series. Definitely looking forward to that. Elijah Gordon's looking forward to celebrating this one here from Richmond. He's looking forward to seeing how he shakes up in the points, and we'll show you that in just a moment. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you guys next week from Willow Springs, and here are the points for the Haas IndyCar Series after 5 races. Try to do better the next time. Congratulations to Elijah Gordon winning the Virginia 100K, and I will see you guys later.